Right. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Rock a thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Allah Thumb by Shem Yahushua to the sisters. And we are clear enough on the screen. Where the ISUPK, the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are led by Commanding General Yohana. We ain't affiliated with any other organization. Coming to you live from ISUPK Milwaukee. LASHAWAN QADASH class held every Friday all across the nation. And in this case, in this context, I mean the nation of Israel. All across the nation of Israel. We got LASHAWAN QADASH classes. In Milwaukee, we're going to be starting about 6 o'clock. We got some inclement weather going on right now in the city, so buses were running behind a little bit. We can get this started. So today we're going to be going over tribes. Now, I know a couple weeks ago we had Judah, Issachar, Ephraim, and Gad. We're going to cover them again, but we're going to include the rest of the other, the 8 tribes that we did not cover that day. So we'll write them off with the English phonetics, and then the Hebrew and the Assyrian text underneath it. I think we'll start on this side. Again, we're just down to one glare right about here. We'll try to skip that as we can. If you can't see it, let me know in the comment section. If it starts going fuzzy on us, again, just bear with us. I see it kind of going in and out of focus. Thumbs up. All right, the water. Where's the chat box? Okay. All right. So, I mean, if we were to go in order, it's a lot. If we were to go in order, Reuben was the firstborn. Damn, sluck. Let me grab my phone. Reuben would have been the firstborn of Israel. Of the sons of Jacob. So, let me just pull these up real quick. Alright, so if you were to go like in I don't want to say this, well, I guess it's technically the original 12 tribes of Israel, you would have Dan included in there, and then Joseph. Dan, because they did not really claim their inheritance, they didn't really go after it. They ended up getting absorbed by, I think it was Manasseh, the tribe of Manasseh. So now you can see Dan. A remnant of Dan would still technically exist, but not enough to have still maintained an established nation. So, all right, so let's do it like this. All right, so Jacob. His name was turned into Israel. And really, in Hebrew, you would pronounce that let me just double check if that's a K or a K. Yahweh. Which was one of the names of chief head priest, Yahweh. So in Hebrew, this would have been, as we're getting cut off, Andrew. Hold up. It actually looks like we might just skip that word. See how we look on the board, on the screen. My fault, Yahweh. All right, that works. Yahweh. This would have been solo. These two would have been joined. Yahweh. In the Syrian, you see that as, skipping on here a little bit. Yahweh. That would have been Jacob. Got that glare. Back in focus a little. Back. Alright. So I just have to stay here. So we got Jacob, Yahweh. The Hebrew and the Assyrian. Of course, we know of this recently, Israel, which would have been Yah, Shah, Allah, Yashala. See, we got a little bit of slant going on there. I don't like that. Yashala. Again, this is something that when you're reading it, well, in the Assyrian it's more important. But in the Hebrew, Allah, Allah. And the Assyrian, when we're reading in the Torah, Yashala. And again, penmanship is going to be kind of unique to each individual, but let's just try to maintain the same relevant, same relative familiarity. So we got Jacob, who was our forefather, our progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is what we're going to be discussing today. Yahweh, Yashala. Hebrew, and the Assyrian, when you're reading through the Torah, you should be able to recognize things like this. Try to make that some of the more familiar words that you see. your the Most High, your nation, and your tribe should definitely be I want to say your main focal point, but should help get you more familiar and make everything more readily identifiable. At least if you start getting some of these more committed to memory. It's up there for another little bit. All right, so Israel, which is our nation, Jacob, the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. So, his sons, in order of appearance, we got Reuben, who is the firstborn. Reuben. Rawaban. Shout out to Rawaban out there in the UK. That's not how you spell it. Rawaban. My fault. Rawaban. 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 See how we on the glare. Double check. And there it goes. Alright, looks like we skipped it. Alright, we're doing pretty good. Alright, so the Ra is alone, A is alone, Y is alone, the Ban is connected. Ra'awaban. I mean, Syrian. It's like it's lazy now. Ra'awaban. And again, so you got familiar characters in here that these can often get confused with one another. The Ra and the Ba share some elements. The Wa and the Na share some elements. When that Na falls at the end of the word, it takes on a different form. So let me check something real quick. Our bond. Again, shout out to that brother out there in the UK. Does an excellent LASHAWAN QADASH class. Not sure what the time zone difference is between the UK and up here, but I think they're like on a completely different day. If it's the 13th over here, I think it's like the 14th by them. Oh, my fault. See, I knew I had some on there. Our bond. The I and the Y are connected. Second brother. And I'm sorry, the meaning of the name too. Let's get the meaning of the names in here as well. See, it's a son. Ban usually connotates son. See, it's a son. It's a boy. It's a boy. Second brother's name is Simeon.
So that's what it means, Rabbi?
Yeah, see, it's a son. I think next time I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So that we can still see it. All right, we good.
So what Jacob means?
I should have grabbed that too. Jacob, supplanter. Supplanter.
Okay.
Spell that. Supplanter.
He supplant Reuben, rubber one, right?
Say it again.
He supplant rubber one.
No, he supplanted Esau. Again, Jacob and Esau are twins.
Okay.
So he was coming out, yeah.
Kind makes sense.
So when Jacob was coming out the womb, he grabbed the heel, yeah.
But he also supplant rubber one, right? Because rubber one was the firstborn. He doesn't know.
I mean, technically, I guess you could use the word supplanter for this, but at the same time, that kind of wouldn't fit because Jacob's the father. That's normally it's only a term used for like competitors in a sense. Like if Reuben's younger brothers wanted to try to overthrow him, they would have supplanted Reuben. But Jacob, I mean, he's the father, so he's not supplanting his son. But he did cut him out of his original inheritance as like the firstborn. But I wouldn't use that as supplanting. So yeah, Jacob was supplanter. The second son in order of operation, Simeon. Shemaiah. Let's see if we can't fit 3 on here. So who's the third? Levi, yeah, we can fit Levi. Levi, yep. So, shut. Shemaiah. I mean, technically, you don't need that A in there, but since I don't want to confuse nobody, making them think like it's I, like my I one. Just pronouncing these two together. Shemaiah. So in the Hebrew, Shah. Shah. My one. Shah. My one. Shemaiah one. Affection heard. My fault. Affliction. Affliction heard. We got Levi. Alawia. Levi, we got Alawia. Alawia. Sounds an awful lot like a lawyer. Since these were the brothers, the tribe that was put in place to deal with the law, where they get the term, the modern day term from. They get that from Levi, from Lawi.
Lawyer.
Yep. Lawi. Sounds like you're from the South. Lawi. 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 This is a little short. Match the rest of them. Lawi. Joined to me. Raban. Shemawan. Lawyer. Leave it up there for another little bit.
Shawan. Shawan.
Shema.
Lawyer. It's rubber one is she is a son or he is a son.
See, it's a son. I like presented like see it, like it's a boy. Like my first one, man, it's a boy. And again, you can see certain elements in these names. Ban, son. Shemai is normally like listen up, listen.
Yeah.
You can also use that for heard. Just depending on the context that you bring. Heard, Shemai, heard. Me, Yah. Yah. You see some of the different elements and how to, and later on we start getting into like prepositions and prefix, suffix. Just to kind of give you an idea on how on the word structure, which is going to lead into sentence structure. And it's also kind of evidenced in, bond here. That's combined. Shemai here. That's separate, but that's combined. And when we spell that word, it's going to look just like that. Yah, again, separate. Lauya. Start building up a premise on what to look for in the words to gain the context of it. Erase this. Let's see what's the next three. Let me see if I can fit them all here. Yeah, I think we can get all three of them in there too.
So, la is something like two, right?
Usually up to. Y is usually the, or no, and Y is usually and, ha is usually the.
Ba is in.
The what?
Ba.
I think so. In or of. All right, so we got Reuben, Simeon, Levi. We got Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. We can clean that up a little. That's not how you spell Zebulun. We're missing a letter. I'm trying to do you a disservice, my brother. Oh, right. Yeah. Zebulun. Make that a little bigger. That's better. Yahawada. a second. Yeah. Like it's a little bit smaller. It's a bottom one. Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Yahawada, Yashakar, Zabalawan. Yahawada. Yash. Shakar. Balawan. Zabalawan. Hawada. Yashakar. Zabalawan. Judah. Yahweh thanks. Because it's in the name, I'm actually going to spell it out so like to the men above me. Yahweh thanks. Yashakar, Issachar, Yashakar. He is hired. Zebulon, Zabalawan, Zabalawan, dwelling. Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Yahawada, Yashakar, Zabalawan. Yahweh thanks, he is hired, dwelling. So now the first 6 that we had put up, they had one mother. Jacob had 4 wives. The 12 tribes of Israel was mothered by 4 sisters. Well, it's like I can't say all of them were sisters because I think 2 of them were Egyptian. We'll get into the wives at a different time. Leave this up there for a little bit. All right. You got these?
Come. So Jacob is supplanter, right? So Israel is just the nation, right?
All right, so actually, I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, Jacob supplanted Israel being like the definitive name of the nation. That's Prince of the Power.
Oh,
Yeah, my fault. So yeah, so Jacob and Israel, they got 2 different meanings. So Israel itself means Prince of the Power, and Shar is Prince.
Prince the power.
So I would try to break this down. So like Yah, Shar, Allah. All right, so Yah normally meaning like me or I. Shar, Prince. So now Allah, you're normally going to see this as God.
Allah because Allah is God, right?
Yep. And we know that God, depending on the context that you're using, could be angel, messenger, but in this case, power.
So Allah is what else you say?
Could be angel, could be messenger, could be judge, could be authority. Just depending on how you're using it.
Okay.
So in this case, power. So I, Prince, power. So I'm the prince of the power.
Well,
Alright, so the next group we got coming up, next three, in this order. We got Gad, Asher, and Dan. We can make these a little bit bigger, I guess, since they're all kind of short. So this is pretty much exactly how it's presented. Gad. Yeah. It's
no variation.
yeah, and actually it doesn't even need that. That's all connected. This one is Ashar. And I believe this one is just damn near the same thing like that too. Done. Let's see what they got in here though, real quick.
Well done, huh?
Not for Daniel or Daniel, Daniela. That's different than that. Yeah, just like that. It's just that simple. But now, I mean, we kind of pronounce this more Don. Why did you tell me I put it? I was thinking about that. So Don. Together. So let's do one. Together. Just in case the glare is messing this up, it's a Ga, it's a Da. These are joined together. And your Syrian. I'm tripping. That's Dan. This is Gad. Let's try his name again. That's better. Okay, you can see the difference between the Da and the Ra. In their same form. This is a little sharper, more square, boxed off. Just got that curve. You can see the difference between the Na and the Ra. This is the same height as the rest of the characters around it. This one stands a little bit taller. It's got a thinner profile than the Ra. Got a thinner profile, but it's taller. Yeah, it's a troop. That should happen. Damn, I gotta look up the definition for damn.
Happy boy. Not sure.
Damn, it's judge.
So in Hebrew, you just want to say you are happy, you can say Asher.
I would have to look because there might be different contexts for like I am happy.
Okay, fine.
It might be like Yasha or something like that. Judge. Now again, Dan did not fight for how would I say take control of his inheritance. He ended up losing out through wars and strife and whatnot. He did not have enough sons to really carry on that family name or the pretense for having a tribe. So like when you see in Revelations when it talks about the 12 gates, Dan is not mentioned in there. And we're about to go through who was. So now these are just again the 12 tribes from the beginning in Genesis.
But Danar is still present today somewhere, right?
Dan is still around.
Mm-hmm.
Dan is still around with a seed, but without having assumed his inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't really have authority like that. And especially like after everything got disbanded and we were still clumped together as tribes, you couldn't find Dan like that because they got absorbed into Manasseh.
Fine.
So God, Ashar, Dan. Got these? So now we got Naphtali, Ephraim, and Manasseh. My fault. I should have gone over who was who like today that we presently see. We'll get into that before we head out. Thali.
It's not L-I.
Oh. Need the L in there too, huh? Thali. Ephraim. Manasseh. Well, select. In the original 12 tribes, would have been Joseph and then Benjamin. Select. We're gonna clear this up in a second too. Make that smaller. So now Joseph was one of Jacob's more beloved sons. He was the father of Ephraim and Manasseh, who occupy his inheritance today.
Joseph is no E. After O.
And I've seen different spellings. I will trust you. That's why I was thinking Joe. Good old Joe. Joseph. Again. So they've got those actually separated. So Naphthalia, Yawasap, Banyamyam. Naphthalia, separate, separate. These are together. That's separate. Yawasap. 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 Banyamyam. Yum. Yum. Should be bigger. Naphthalia. And again, the knot at the beginning of the word. Actually, it should be a little bit thinner. The knot at the beginning of the word is have a thinner profile in comparison to like the ba. Naphthalia. Let's try to- Yawasap. So you got the P or the pa in like the middle of the word. In the beginning or in the middle, it's going to take on this form. At the end, it's going to take on this form. And again, that's going to be taller than the rest of the characters. It's going to be taller than how we normally start. Banyamyam. there. So ban yum yum. So again, the ba and the na, they are similar in effect, but the na, it's got a thinner profile than the ba, and then in the middle or in the beginning of the word, the na is gonna have that form. At the end of the word, it's gonna take on that form. All right. Dolly. My wrestling. Finish that I got for this is let him add. Then you're plunging on the son of the right. So now again, once we get done with this, we're gonna add Ephraim and Manasseh on there, because after Joseph had died, his inheritance went down to his sons. I believe he had more than just these two, but the heir that passing down, it went to his sons Ephraim and Manasseh.
That's when he was in Egypt, right?
Say that again?
That's when he was in Egypt. Did he conceive his two children, Ephraim and Manasseh?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, his wife was definitely an Egyptian. You good? So now we're just gonna add Ephraim and Manasseh. Yum. Sa. Connected. Sa. Para yum. The ah is separate, pa separate, ra separate, yum is together. Just in case we got that glare. Manasha. Sha. Ma separate, na separate, sha is together. Again, at the end of the word, the ma, we can actually make that a little bit bigger. It takes on a different form than what we've been seeing. It's more of a box. The sa is more of a circle. The ma is more of a box shape. Tails. Normally we're seeing the ma like this in the beginning or in the end, or in the beginning or the middle of the word. At the end of the word, it's going to look like this. Sha. We got I am fruitful. Manasha made to forget. Good here. So now we'll get into the land masses and where you can readily identify these tribes predominantly in the Western Hemisphere. It's a little bit more ambiguous when you start getting into the Eastern Hemisphere because of that scattering. But a lot of them brothers still know that they were taken from the Caribbean islands. If they were taken from Puerto Rico, if they were taken from Mexico, if they were taken from Jamaica, the West Indies, if they were taken from a country in South America. So now let's get into where we are. Let's see how we do this. That. I think we're just gonna go right beneath it. Judah. See, these is the Negroes. No specific landmass attributed to them. But again, there's a big difference between black people, so-called black Americans, African Americans, Negroes, Afro Americans, than there is Africans or Hamites. The Negroes were also sold all over the world. They were spread all over the place. North, Central, South America, Eastern Hemisphere, Western Hemisphere, all over. So they don't have an exact landmass attributed to them because they got brought everywhere. Benjamin. You can find them in the West Indies. So-called West Indians. Levi. So-called Haitians. And their brother, they're their partner in crime, Simeon. So-called Dominicans. Zebulon. Guatemala to Panama. Guatemala to Panama. Ephraim. And so now, real quick, so like Zebulon, for example, from Guatemala to Panama, it's just that general region. So where are you specifically from?
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Mm-hmm.
So now, if you, and we need to get a map up here too. But if you were to look at a map on South America, this area, is this more north, south?
Central.
At central?
North, central, south.
Okay.
So basically, Zebulon is Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama.
Okay.
7 countries.
All right, there you go. So that's just kind of a general grouping on that area. It's like Benjamin, the West Indian Islands, it's not just Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a couple.
Bahamas.
Yeah.
Trinidad, Tobago.
Right.
Bermuda. Martinica.
And then even Ephraim and Manasseh, it wasn't just Puerto Rico and Cuba. Yeah.
There's a lot of Ephraimites over here in the United States.
Yep.
Millions. Probably more than.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But the Ephraimites you would see today is the so-called Puerto Ricans. Manasseh. So-called Cubans.
But then again, there's a lot of Cubans in Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah, Florida is the mainland, in the United States, which is holding a lot of Cubans.
It's like where we had originally kind of settled before the Western Hemisphere got colonized. Predominantly, this is where we were separated tribe by tribe. Predominantly, that's where you would find us. And if you look at the biblical prophecies, the blessings and the curses, the descriptions of each of these tribes, this whole map starts making sense to you. You got this?
Yeah. So like to add about the tribe of Zebulon is the one that today, they call it the so-called Mayans.
The so-called Mayans?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
And also, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, Dominicans, they are of, what they call it, what is the Indian tribe they used to be before the conquest?
So I know we had like Boricua.
Boricua, yeah, it's a nickname for Puerto Rican. It's a nickname.
What were the families? Shit.
I forgot the name of the native people.
Inuit? No. Why does that sound familiar? I have to double check on that.
The Tainos.
Tainos, thank you.
Tainos,
It was about to get mad at me. God. So-called So-called North American Indians. Now Reuben. So-called Seminole Indians.
Which are basically located in what is today Florida, right? The state of Florida.
I think there was like Florida, Mississippi, Georgia.
And Georgia. You know, if proof of that, you know, it's in the movies. You know, we have a movie, you know, which is called, you know, Rosewood. It's about the Seminole Indians.
Yeah, famous city in Florida that got grossly mistreated because another so-called white woman, the deviless that the Bible speaks of, had lied on the brother because she was unfaithful to her husband, to her people, saying that she got raped by a Negro, and decided to go burn down a whole nother city.
Like many of our brothers, right?
Yeah. But at that time, I think it was mainly Judah that was getting hit with it. Valley Asher. This is Argentina to Chile. Asher, Colombia to Uruguay.
It's a numerous countries in there, you know. It's like Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay.
What's in between Argentina and Chile?
Is the Andes Mountains.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we got ISUPK. So-called Mexicans.
And so like the world knows them as Aztecs.
And again, there's a lot of archaeology backing these claims up. So when was it Chief Head Priest Arya, I believe, who had received a vision about this, it was before all this archaeology was dug up. It was before you could really see it brought into light through literature. There were records of this connection a long time ago that had to get dug out from the archives. So when Chief Head Priest Ariah had that vision, and then they decided to investigate it, and that's when they started pulling out all the archaeology. And Captain Katazai again has an amazing lecture out there on YouTube. I believe you got to go to crossthelineradio.com. Subscribe to the website, become a member, and they'll give you like all the classes, all the lectures. Cross the Line Radio, I believe, is transitioning over, so you'll be able to actually see the classes and the breakdowns of the different tribes that we see expressed here today. And again, this is predominantly in the Western Hemisphere. We've got these same tribes in the Eastern Hemisphere too, all around Europe, in Africa, in Asia. You can find them in Australia, I'm sure, somewhere too, but they're not as easily identifiable. A lot of those other land masses are predominantly occupied by other heathen nations. So just looking over where we are commonly today, more populated today in the Western Hemisphere, North, Central, and South America, this is where you're going to be able to find us. And again, Dan was absorbed into the tribe of Manasseh, so you're not really going to find them as prevalent as Dan still exists. So I ain't going to deny the brother. When the 12 gates get established that you read about in Revelations, it's going to be the 12 that we had just written about here, where Dan is dropped off, Joseph is dropped off, and it's recognized with Ephraim and Manasseh. All right, so those are the 12 tribes. And next week, I believe we're going to get into the Table of Nations, where we'll get into the 18 family groups that are populating the earth today that we can see. So again, check out, get ready for Black Friday. Save up your money. November 24th, it falls on this year. We're going to do a class on that as well to give the history of Black Friday too. They think they're slick, but they not. Got the Houston Cookout coming up November 23rd through the 26th. We got Operation Reservation coming up November 4th. Check out UPK Milwaukee. We got a GoFundMe out there. We got the Cash App, $ ISUPK Milwaukee. If you want to send any donations to the efforts here. If you have any clothes or housing, home good items, you can also send that in too. But yeah, November 4th, Saturday, November 4th, we're heading up to the Menominee Reservation in Neopet, at the Neopet Pavilion. There's no real physical address to it. If you need a GPS connection to it, just give us a call, contact UPK Milwaukee, we'll give you the directions. Otherwise, it's very easy to find. It's very straightforward. So we'll see you then. We'll see you next week. We'll go over the 18 Table of Nations. So Shalom Israel, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Baruch Thumb to the brothers, Yahweh Shamar Allah Thumb Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. We're out. Shalom.